page.
Do I share my window? Do you see that? Or no?
Yes.
Okay, so you just go straight to the PowerPoint. They don't see me anymore.
Yes. Please go to the PowerPoint presentation so that you can see the slides.
Okay. Like that? But you don't see me.
But we are seeing you. There is an arrow, upward arrow. Please click on
Yep.
that and then start sharing.
Do I share this? Okay, so you see me, and my PowerPoint is just on my PowerPoint. It's not on a PDF.
Can you save the PDF on
I
desktop?
tried. I don't think I can. I'll try. We'll see. I'm not sure.
Can you share the slide PDF to us? We can share from our end.
Oh, if you could do that, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, if you can share your PDF to our.
I'll try one more time.
Yeah, there was an arrow towards the.
Yep, I've got the arrow, and I'm trying to find my presentation. And it's not coming up. Because it's not a document. If you could share my presentation.
Yes, we will share from our end. And we can go ahead with the next. We can keep saying next slide so that we can move on with the next slide. Is it okay, Lori Hilson?
Yes, Lori Hilson's fine. Do you see me? Because I don't see me. Oh, there we are. Okay.
So before we go on, let's give a brief introduction about Lori Hilson to the audience, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next keynote speaker, Lori Hilson. With 37 years of award-winning leadership in the chemical distribution industry, is the founder and president of Essential Water Technology, LLC, and CEO of HD Strategic Advisors. She co-partners at Stage Owner Inc., offering the Profit Accelerator SM program, and co-founded Female Strong, a non-profit for aspiring young female entrepreneurs. Formerly GM and SRVP of Ravago and CEO of TH Hilson Company. Lori authored You Hold the Power, Igniting Your Fire for Success. She serves on the WBC Advisory Committee and is a past president of Chicago. Lori holds a Bachelor of Science in Marketing from Loyola University of Chicago and enjoys golf, tennis, cooking, writing, and family time. She and her husband, Hubert, have 6 children and several grandchildren. Wow, that's a great profile, Lori. So the stage is yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about unleashing harmony, having it all without losing yourself. We're going to learn ways that you can be the best that you can be by running a business and a career and a family, and to be deliberate with yourself in a way to stay engaged and to remember to always breathe. Next slide, please. You can go to the next slide, please. I'm going to start with a story Having been newly married and blending two of my adult teenage daughters. They were one was in middle school and in high school, and having three stepsons, two in high school and one in college. I find that I am pregnant as an older mom, thinking that I'm going to have these teenage children to help raise, and my career. And God gave me this little baby. I am in the hospital with her, and I'm not sure how many people in the audience have had a blended family, but my doctor knew me well and said, Lori, you're running a family, you have a busy career life. I'm going to induce you on a Thursday so that you have the weekend to recover. I'm like, fantastic, this is great. My other two babies were very easily delivered. Well, I'm in the room. My baby is in distress. My sister and my husband are with me, so they're monitoring her. And as time goes on and the night goes on, things are not progressing very well. And I had an incredible pain underneath my rib cage. And the doctor said, well, we're going to give you an epidural to help you with this pain. The pain did not go away. They wanted to move the epidural, and the nurse, which was a big blessing to me, said, let's just try to work. I'll work with her on this. Let's not move the epidural, which was miracle number one. So I am getting very, very tired. I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm laying on my side, and the nurse comes in and checks me, and there is blood everywhere. And they rush my husband and my sister out of the room, tell them to get dressed. They're going to perform emergency C-section on me. And by this time, my body is convulsing and shaking. And I have to sign papers, and my mind is clear, but I can't control my body. And I'm like embarrassed. I can't sign the papers. I am worried about my baby. I just want my baby. And I'm praying. They whisk me into a room. And if any of you in the audience have ever had a C-section, your arms are to the side. And I'm holding on to my sister's hand, and the baby comes out, and she's blue from the neck down. And they hit her 5 times. And finally she cries. And I am just so grateful and so thankful. And I'm just so overwhelmed, but I'm so tired. And they take the baby, and now I'm laying on the bed holding my sister's hand. The baby goes to my husband, and I say, my head is so heavy. My head is so heavy, although I'm not holding it up. And my sister says, Laura, you can rest now. And that is when I flatlined. And I write about it in the book. And I talk about what I saw when I went over. The abundance of love is nowhere that I have ever found here on this earth. And I made a choice to come back. I made a choice to come back for my family. I made a choice to come back and make a positive impact in the world. Writing my book, sharing this story, talking about unleashing harmony. How can you have it all without losing yourself was part of the reason why I came back. And I want to talk about that particular part now of, here I am so blessed to have this baby girl, along with all these teenage children and adults, and the career that I have. People often ask me, Lori, how do you do it all? So we're going to go to the next slide. How do you do it all as a mother, as a friend, as a wife, as a daughter? How do you find time for yourself? How do you balance all of this together? Next slide, please. And I'm going to share some of those tips with you today. But most of you are business leaders, business women owners. I want to just share a statistic that $1.7 trillion of sales are created from women business owners. There are 11.6 million women-owned businesses. We are a force to be reckoned with, and we normally have the brunt of the responsibilities of the family. How do we do that? How do we continue to grow as a person in our career and be there for our families and, most importantly, ourselves? Next slide, please. I resemble finding balance as a teeter-totter, one of the toys that we found on a playground as a young girl. I remember with my sister going on a teeter-totter, and if hopefully a lot of you know what I'm talking about, but she would get on one side with her friend and have me just stay down as far as I could, and then I try to go up to the other side. She'd keep me up there on the other side, and then she'd jump off and I'd bounce to the ground with a thud, and we would play a game to try to move closer and closer and closer to the middle of that teeter-totter to find that perfect balance where we were just floating. And it was just the most incredible balance. We were so proud of ourselves when we could find that balance. And that's what I resemble. And that's like kind of how I feel about work-life balance, where you've got the teeter-totter side, which is your work, your career, your professional side. Then we've got the totter side, which is your personal friendships. You're being the wife, the mother, the aunt, the daughter. And then in that middle is you. And you have to protect that very middle part of you so that you can be there for everybody else. And when you're in that perfect balance, it feels amazing, but it's very hard to get to. Next slide, please. So what I did was I asked 35, 40 women that I know that have raised families in a tremendous career. And I said, can you share with me some tips that will help other professional women to kind of have a little bit of more time in their day? And some of the tips that I live, and so I'm going to share those with you, but some of the tips that I live by is to give yourself permission to say no to things that aren't aligned with you and to be kind to yourself, to protect that dinner time with your family and make semi-homemade meals. You don't have to make elaborate meals, but do something that will allow you to have time for discussion with your children, to hire outside help and outsource as much as possible, and make your husband and your friends a priority, and to be present where you are. Whatever given situation, try. And it's very hard to do, but try to be present where you are. So the next slide shows the categories that I gave to all these amazing women and asked for them to rank them in order of importance in their day. Now, when this is going back, my daughter is now 16 years old. Grace is now 16 years old. And self-care was the lowest of the priorities. And there's so much awareness around taking care of yourself that I am so happy to see that it has raised up in the rankings. It's about halfway there. So I'm going to share with you some of the tips that they have put together in the various categories. And this is the rankings of how they feel are the most important. Relationships. We can go to the next slide. Relationships are number one. This is where your time should be invested. It feeds your soul. It gives you true joy. You can go to the next slide, please. Be sure to make time for your family, your friends, even if it's just a quick hello, and just tell them, hey, I'm thinking of you. It's a known fact that people live longer and better in their relationships with their friends and family when they make the time for them. And one of my really favorite tips is that one of my friends, she travels. And so when her daughter was little, she would buy 2 books. One she would take with her on a trip and one that she would give to her daughter. And when she was traveling at night before bed, they would together read the same chapter of the story, so that she felt connected to her daughter. I think that's a fantastic tip. The second category was school and activities. How do you kind of streamline some of those responsibilities? A lot of the moms said we try to get the homework done right away after school. So at dinner time, we have some free time to play a game, catch up, do something fun together. Another, it's a priority to delegate and not try to do the homework. Don't do the homework for your children, but let the children do their homework. It's not your job. And another woman said, put a high priority to be the room mom. Attend the activities that you can. Help the children in the classroom where you can. You can do some little things even as you have a career and be involved with the school and your children's activities. Family mealtime, this is a big one for me. And a lot of the moms really, that resonated with them too. Eat together as a family during the week as much as possible. I know that there's a lot to juggle, but if you can find that little snippet of time as your children are growing up, you'll have that opportunity to kind of catch up with their day. Prioritize your time together. Communicate around the dinner time. And create a menu each week together and maybe delegate those meal times with your children to help out so that you're not doing it all alone. Next slide, please. The fourth category is organizing your week. So some of the tips that came along was make a list of to-dos and prioritize those. A lot of women on Sunday nights take this time to make sure that they know what's ahead on the schedule. They communicate that with their family. They put their wardrobe needs, they know what they're going to be wearing. They know what their children are going to be wearing. They figure out what days they can do their workouts. Some have a monthly calendar and they review their family calendar on what the priorities are for the week. Optional work activities. We are often asked to do things outside of the workday. And these are events and things that you're asked to attend, but it's not necessary for you to attend. This was a number 5 priority, where women do what they need to do. They have to go and be visible at these networking functions. They just do it. And others say only do the ones that are aligned with you and with your heart, because life is too short to spend too much time on these optional work activities. And although these events are important when raising a family, something needs to give. And this is where you can maybe say, hey, it's not a priority today. And number 6, self-care, which is something that I have often not done for myself, but I am aware of it now. It's like second time around with Gracie. But a lot of women are very conscious about it. They take time for yourselves, meet your friends, get a facial, get a massage, do something, even if it's 10 minutes a day, go for a walk and get revitalized. Because if you are not healthy and if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be good for your business, for your family, for your children. It's kind of fun to see what everybody says. I just love hearing and writing about and reading now these amazing tips that these incredible women have shared with us. So the next slide talks about household care. You have to take care of your house. Delegate. Again, stay ahead of the chores. Declutter your house one room at a time. Many have hired outside help to help with the nanny care of the children, right? So that they know that they're taking to and from some activities, that they're there. Some have even turned their nanny into a household manager after the kids have grown. So it's very important. Shopping. Okay, so when I was raising my family, I was lucky to have milk delivered because I had 3 teenage boys and they drank like 3 gallons of milk a week. So I loved Oberweis delivery. That was about the only thing that could get delivered for me. But now you have Instacart and Instacart the heck out of your shopping. Don't worry about it. Have your groceries delivered. It takes time to go to the grocery store, time to shop, unload your cart, just Instacart it. That's the only tip I'm going to say because it will save you tremendous amount of time. Cleaning, hire outside help, get a cleaning person twice a month. Spend your time with your family. You are working hard. This is one of the most absolutes. Do not try to clean your house on your own as a working career family person. Next slide, please. Thank you for all of the accolades that you're sending to me in the chat. I'm overwhelmed. Other tips. Okay, I found this. I wanted to share the 3. It's just amazing. Be kind to yourself, right? And as a single mom, right? So you have to be kind to yourself, really be kind to yourself. But the second one, as a single mom, and this was written by my friend, try to find your sense of family when you are a single mom, and some of you probably are single moms raising your kids by yourself. So I was a single mom before I met Hubert and had Grace, and I would take my older daughters, we would go on trips together and we would build lifetime dreams. You can create your family dynamic with friendships as well. And it starts at home, right? If you want your daughters to be treated well, you have to equally treat your sons to be able to understand and appreciate how it is to treat women when they become married. And I thought that was so profound. And then vacations. Always take a vacation. And I know as business owners, you need to check your phone, check your emails, but try to do it minimally so that you are present and you can recharge yourself and re-energize yourself so that when you come back, you're refreshed and ready to go. Next slide. It's just the list of all the contributors, the amazing women. And in my book, which won an International Literary Award, I about fell off my chair. I couldn't believe that I got an award for being very vulnerable and open. But the funnest chapter was this chapter 2, Unleashing Harmony, and just sharing hundreds of tips. I also have a workbook that comes out that has every single tip because I couldn't put them all in the book. And these are the amazing women who have contributed to the tips that I presented to you today that are in my book and in my workbook. The last slide, please, or second to last. In conclusion, we commit to our careers, we commit to our families, and we must commit to ourselves. Do not overlook that, right? Being a superpower woman, it's eventually going to take its toll. And you need to find that balance every day. You will always, always, always get irritated, like a road rage at times, right? And remember, that life is too short. If you don't have balance, you're going to be irritated and you're going to get angry and you're going to miss out on special moments. You're going to get sick. So you need to find that inner balance. And when things get so overwhelming for me, I remember to take a breath and to breathe. I remember that teeter-totter and trying to find joy each day to unleash harmony in your life. Let the joy come in. Try to find that every day. If it's a walk in the woods, it's by yourself with a cup of coffee, having a chat with your daughter, your son, your husband. Try to find that joy each day. And if you can do that, let your light shine brightly for the entire world to see. For when you hold your power, everything is possible. And that's the premise of my book. And I see some of you want to read my book. The next slide is my contact information. You can get it on Amazon. I'm open to seminars, workshops. I've got many lessons in the book for business, how I grew and built and sold my business, lessons on transition, growth, personal lessons as well. So I thank you. And I only had 10 minutes to get ready today, so that's why my hair's in a ponytail. Prima woke me up, and so I didn't have my cup of coffee, but I hope that you enjoyed my little tips for you today.
Thanks, Lori.
Is there any questions that anybody has, or I'm not sure how the rest of this goes?
Yeah. So we have gone through your simple tips, like how to maintain a healthy relationships, especially in family, and keeping you busy. So we have few questions, and one of the question is like, how do you carry emotions not from your end when you hear a sad story from your sister, or how do you manage the situation of when it is not in your control?
When it is not in my control. Well, breathing and trying to put yourself in the other situation is what I try to do. Have empathy, right? When it's not in my
Yeah.
control. It's very easy to get upset and angry about a situation because of what happened to me with Grace. I try to remind myself because of the love and the beauty and making the decision to come back, that there's more to life than what's just facing you right now. And if you can just try to gain control of your emotions and be present, it helps. But listening and not always forming a judgment is key. And I writing my book and telling these stories helps me to remember these tips because it's easy to forget.
Yes. Nice. Listening and then finding the right answer is also a great gesture. And how did you find some free time apart from your busy schedule, like horse riding and all these activities? You're super busy with all this, but how do you find some time? Because in our generation now, currently we are too much occupied with work and home activities. We carry the emotions from the office to the home, and the household emotions to back to the office. So these emotions will always be traveling.
That it is. I find being in nature is where I can clear my head. Gardening, I love to garden. I love walks in the forests or on trails and just being, even on the golf course, if you play golf, I mean, you have to really make it a time. And for me, it's being in nature, and it brings me closer
Wow.
to God as well. And that allows me time to think. And when you have time to separate and think, and ideas can come to you of how you can solve a problem, how you can continue on. And I'll say the other big thing that has helped me is to have an advisor or a life coach that I can talk to and, you know, share things with that kind of gives me a little bit of a perspective. Those two things, walking in nature and having a coach that will help you, has really been so paramount for me.
Super, super, Lori. So actually, yeah, it is getting close to the nature. That's what the
Mhm,
healing power. Thank you
mhm.
so much, Lori. Please share your book so that we can always share that in our website, so that
Yes,
visitors to our website can avail those simple tips and
wonderful.
improve their bounce backs with their emotions and intelligence. Thank you so much, Lori, for you being with
Thank
us
you.
for an
I
amazing.
appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for being up so
Thank you.
early in the morning and listening today. Have
Thank
a
you.
lovely day.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
So our next session, we are having a 10 to 15 minutes break, coffee break. Then we'll come back. Thank you all. Stay tuned.